So I work in an office environment, and I get quite regularly people come up to me while I'm on the phone and just start trying to hold a conversation with me. The other issue is when I leave my desk, say to go to the bathroom, go eat lunch, or even go to a class, I don't have a way to leave people a note saying, hey, I'll be back in a few minutes, or I'll be back in a few hours, without wasting a whole bunch of notepads or post-it notes. This is my office status board. So first I'm going to show you the code that's involved in getting this up and running, and then I'll show you the board and all the wiring and diagram for it, and then what the final product looks like. So here's the code. It's quite long, but it's actually fairly easy. I am relatively new to Arduino coding myself. Just started probably a couple months ago, and it's actually quite easy. And I'll put my code up on the website for you guys to download and mess around with it, or even use yourself. So we'll go through all the supplies you need are right here to actually make the box and then make the board. All the items that you need to put it all together are here. One of the things I didn't include was paint or anything like that, but you will need a hot glue gun or something to attach a button to. Obviously some wires, and I just use some jump wires that come in a wiring kit. So here is the Arduino code, or the Arduino pin layout. So this is all the pins from the Arduino to the various LED pins or push button LEDs. And here is the LCD pin layout. You just include all your include statements, your booleans, your void setup and void loop. Make sure you declare everything. And if you're using a 16:4 display, you just change this 16:2 to 16:4. Very simple. And then in the void loop, you basically you call out every single if statement. So I have a button on the side of my little box, which you can see over here on the right side. There's a button right here, and every time you press that button, you get a different display readout on your display. And it basically counts every time you press that button. It'll count how many times it's been pressed. That way it knows which display to represent on the display. So going all the way down, I have 9 status displays, and you can add or remove as many as you'd like. At the very bottom, I've basically put in here if the push button counter is greater than 9, then it will reset the counter back to 0 and take you all the way back up here to the top and display your first line of text or 2 lines of text. So that's pretty much it. It's very simple. There is one last thing I wanted to make sure that you guys put in the code, is a delay. I noticed that if you don't put a delay, you'll receive a lot of flickering, or what looks like the screen's loading each time, because at the front of every display is LCD clear, just to make sure that the screen is cleared out before you display the next code of text. So basically I put in the delay in here of 120 milliseconds, just to make sure that it doesn't flicker so noticeably. Anything over 120, I've noticed that you get into a lot of problems of when you push the button, it doesn't actually notice that you push the button. And then anything faster or smaller than 120, you still see a little bit of flickering, especially anything below 50. So 120 is what I used. You're more than welcome to choose anything else. My breadboard. It's basically just a little breadboard with everything laid out, just making sure everything works before I put it in a container. And as you can see, everything works. Now the code's a little different than what it is that I just showed you. The code here that I'm using, every other light or every other status will display the light. So if it was a number of the code, it would display that light. So let's take a look at what I got in the box. So here is the box fully made. I used a little computer button off the back of an old compact computer. Just cut it out of the project box and glued it in there with some hot glue. Here's the custom shield that I made, and I'll get into that a little bit. But basically took a blank shield and made my own shield. So here's the compact computer. I took that little button out and basically put it in the side of the project box here. So here's the LCD display, 16 by 2, and here's what it looks like with the pins that I've soldered onto the side of them, or the back side of the board. Use some jumpers to where that way they can go into the pins on the shield that I made. Here's the Arduino in the bottom of the project box. Here's the back side of the custom shield that I made. So once again, it's just a blank shield. It is a Seed Studio shield. I'll put all the information on the website. And then here it is, mounted right on top of the Arduino. A little bit closer view of it. And here it is with the LCD display on top and with a closer view. So here's the little switch and the LEDs. So basically these are just clear plastic, and they're on risers. The little switches are riser, and the little LED shines right through the plastic, and they're just hot glued onto the inside of the project box. And then that's just a basic board. It is not a solder board, so there's no solder points on it. It's just holes. Didn't want to waste a solder board. Good to go. So let's show you what it looks like with the lid of it on. So I used a plexiglass lid instead of the black plastic lid that it comes with it. I sanded the inside of the plexiglass and then spray painted the inside of it yellow, just to give it a nice finish. So here's the drawing of the Arduino shield with the Arduino little breadboard that is on the left side of the project box and the LCD screen. So basically the LCD screen's lined up pin 1 through 16 with the breadboard, or with the Arduino shield, sorry. And the Arduino shield wires are pretty self-explanatory. Just follow the colors. If you have any problems with the pin layouts or can't really tell, just go look at the code inside the sketch of the Arduino, and it'll tell you. And I'll put in more detailed instructions as well inside the notes of the website. So thank you much for watching, and I really appreciate it. If you have any questions or concerns, just leave them below in the comments, and I'll be sure to get back at you.